Hey guys, Andrew making a new video on this update we got today in old school RuneScape. Not really an update, but I mean, yeah, it's an update, but not really affecting the game currently. But it's basically content poll 10 is out. I can't believe we're already that far. So we got some cool little pictures here of the Halloween event and also the Saradom boss. It's kind of cool. They've been showing us a lot of pictures of that. We can see like a looks like a Bandos Godsword fighting Commander Ziliana. So a couple things here. They talk about what's going to be in the polls. Also, just minor things about what's going on in the game. They are fixing some sort of bug with drinking potions. Also, the God Wars dungeon is currently being developed, as we know, and there's still a long way to go, but we're well on track for an October launch. So that's not too bad, but October is kind of vague. Like it could be October 30th, and we would that's an October launch, but who knows? Hopefully, we'll get it soon. But they have the original God Wars dungeon already coded, except it's very glitchy. There's bugs that have been fixed in the past, 6 years in God Wars that they have to go back and refix all of those again. So it does take a while to do that. So I read the developer blog a few days ago, so I have an idea what's going to be in this poll. So here we are at the polls. A lot of other polls. There's a whole archive if you guys want to look at them. It could be kind of cool, like looking at the first couple polls and seeing what people voted for and how like people's opinions have changed. So this I know is going to happen. This is basically the Armadyl Crossbow was polled in the original God Wars poll, and it got 73%, which is 2% shy of passing. So they agreed to kind of do a re-poll of it and also kind of clarify what they're actually talking about. Basically, so they tell you it's going to be level 70. Here's the stats. Its special attack would be to double your accuracy with the kind of special bolts, like Dragon Bolts E, would cost 40%, so you could use it twice. That's actually a pretty big deal, and it would be dropped by the Saradom boss because they give a little bit of a kind of story behind it to make it make sense, but it's essentially because they don't want the Armadyl boss having too many drops. So I voted no the first time. I'm going to vote no again because I think range already, they already have the dark bow, rune crossbow, the void set. Range actually has a lot of things already, and mage is really the only thing that's kind of lacking. This is the staff of light thing, which is I don't know what it's actually going to be called, and they wanted to have a magic boost by 15%. That update came with like an auto casting thing where you could auto cast anything without a staff, and they made it so actually quite a few of mage weapons had that bonus, and they're saying for here it's just going to be for that one staff. I'm going to vote no because if we're going to do that, I think that most staffs should have the magic bonus, like the ancient staff, the Void Knight mace. All those when that update happened did get the bonus, and to have one staff have that, I think that would be kind of unfair because it would be the only staff worth using in the game, and it would make every other staff kind of not worth it. So the new magic weapon has a special attack that has damage for 1 minute. While that is in effect, should also have the melee damage you deal. So that's the point of this question, is to say basically for stakers, you want to do DDS staking, and the Staff of Light kind of ruined that because it's kind of unclear as to whether or not you would want the Staff of Light spec or the DDS specs. And most people would actually just want the DDS specs, even though the Staff of Light would probably be better. But to preserve DDS staking, I'm going to go and vote yes for this, meaning that it's not really too practical for meleeing. It is a staff, and when you're using that spec, I think it's a good idea to not really be able to do much melee damage with it. You can still cast magical spells and do a lot of damage, so that's what it's for. It has actually decent melee stats, but still. The following rings could be imbued using Nightmare Zone points, giving them higher combat stats. Essentially, there's no mobilizing armies in old school RuneScape, so we gotta have something else if we want to have those imbued rings. I have some guides on it, like Berserker Ring imbued, where you can double the strength bonus from 4 to 8. That actually sounds like a pretty cool reward from the Nightmare Zone, so yeah, I'll vote for that. This is basically the same thing. I guess so. I mean, why not? Because these rings are pretty useless otherwise, unless you want like a ring of stone. The onyx ring is like a big deal because it's really onyxes are super rare in old school RuneScape. This would drive the price of the Fury up quite a bit, but I'd assume this would give like +6 stats. This would give like +5, +4, but it would make those rings kind of useful. And I thought the mobilizing armies stuff was a pretty cool update, so why not? Whoa, this is a big one here. Nightmare Zone reward shop could sell an ingredient that upgrades the anti-fire potion to super anti-fire, requiring 89 herb lore. The super anti-fire would block all damage. Let's see the potion and. All right, so you need 89 herb lore to make this. You can get. I'm pretty sure that you do need that herb lore level. So this is basically the same sort of thing that came out with extremes, and because of that, I'm gonna vote no. I don't want any of that stuff in old school, really. Extreme. I don't fucking have the money to get 89 herb lore, and if you want to do a Fission Slayer, you're gonna need to get that. And I think these rewards are pretty good anyway. Like for mobilizing armies, these were like the only rewards, other than some weird crap. Nightmare Zone reward shop can sell an agreement upgrade to the energy renewal. I mean that's all right, but I don't know. I'm gonna vote no. I like the super energy stuff. Like I don't know. I don't have the money for herb, but I want to spend it on mage. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. There is some sort of a problem with like herblore having no high level content, but I think we should just create unique high level content, not stuff that we're just bringing from the RuneScape 3. Super prayer. That you can actually use in the wilderness. I'm gonna vote no. I don't want to be at a disadvantage when I'm going to Mage Bank and there's people with 98 herblore who can outlast me or whatever. Okay, 10 packs of unids. That's alright. I don't know though, because for Slayer, which I'll probably be getting 90 somewhere down the line, it would devalue the price of them. So I'm gonna vote no. Voting no on a lot of these. Crystal Bow or Shield to keep. This is actually kind of cool. The Crystal Bow or Shield could be upgraded using Nightmare Zone points, making it keep its combat stats unchanged as it degrades. Yes, the Crystal Bow and Shield are actually pretty good already. On average, I think the Crystal Bow actually does more damage than the. It's better than the Rune Crossbow with Mithril bolts, even factoring in that it does degrade and the combat stats decrease. And the full Crystal Shield actually has the highest range defense in the game, higher than the DFS. So to be able to keep those stats, I think would be really cool. Because the stats of the Crystal Bow and Shield, they get pretty bad when it's like 2 or 3 charges left. If you're wearing the quest cape, the moment you complete an endurance stream, the cape would be trimmed to light blue, giving it a +2 prayer, increasing defense stats to +9 from +11. Now the immediate question I just asked myself here, and then I immediately answered myself, was, well, wouldn't it be easier if you have less quests done, so that endurance would be easier? But then to get the quest cape, you need all the quests done. That's actually kind of cool, and it gives people a good incentive to do the quests for the Nightmare Zone, and it actually makes the quest cape somewhat useful. So let's see, giving a +2 prayer bonus. So essentially what's going to happen here is it'll have some of the stats from the fire cape. It still won't be as good as the fire cape, but it'll at least be decent. So that's actually, yeah, that's pretty good. If you're wearing the quest cape, moment you complete a hard endurance stream, cape will become trim, +2 prayer, +1 attack bonus, just like the fire cape. Okay, this is, unless I'm forgetting anything, that's the same stats as the fire cape. We got the +2 prayer bonus, +1 attack bonus, and the same defensive stats. Wow, that's actually a good question. Do you want the quest cape to be as good as the fire cape? I mean, the quest cape's not that hard to get in old school RuneScape. I might have a little bias because I almost have the quest cape. I've almost had the quest cape for. No, I've almost had the quest cape for almost like 6 months now. I have like 226 quest points out of like 246. There's still some stats I need to get, like 71 wood cutting, but To give it the same stats as the Fire Cape and it only costs 99k, I guess that's fair because no, people don't want to get the Quest Cape, so they'll just get a Fire Cape. So I mean, all right, I'm not fervently for that, but I think overall, yeah, that's actually a good idea. So, okay, this is a lot of these updates are things that have been in RuneScape in one form or another, like the 15% mage bonus. But they're just saying, well, let's just give them as Nightmare Zone rewards, which is alright. So the Nightmare Zone reward shop could sell scrolls, reaction, for teleport to house, tablets, so you could go to any house, portal, or to Trollheim. That's pretty good. It's actually kind of nice when you have the Trollheim tablets, so you can go to the God Wars dungeon without having to bring both fire and earth runes. I mean, no, fire and law runes, I'm pretty sure. So you could just save an inventory spot. There was actually a trick where you could, before this update came out with the love story quest, where these tabs were available, you could teleport to Trollheim, drop like 2 sharks, teleport back to Castle Wars, and then grab the runes to teleport back to Trollheim, and pick those sharks up so you won't waste inventory. And I don't really want to go through that trouble of doing that. I'd rather just have the tab. Black Mask could be imbued using the Nightmare Zone points. Imbued version would give a 15% bonus to your accuracy and your max hit against your assigned Slayer target. In melee and ranging, and 15% bonus to accuracy with magic. And it would have no negative bonuses, and they'd be untradeable. So that's basically saying, do you want the full Slayer helmet? Like the Hexacrest and the other thing. And that would make it so that range and mage would be worth using for Slayer. Not sure why it's just accuracy with magic. I mean, I guess that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I guess you really should be able to use range for and magic for Slayer. So why not? That update was never too bad. A lot of fucking questions here, but we'll go through them. Like, I was expecting like a quick, like 5-minute video, like, okay, yeah, no, yeah, see you guys later. But we'll go through them. This one is actually kind of cool. The Nightmare Zone would sell a untradeable cow mask. If you read the developer blog, they talk about a random event, which actually still exists in the game's coding that was never implemented, almost like a beta random event, where you would have to help this farmer collect pieces of a cow limbs, and they didn't implement it because they thought it was a little too graphic. So you can actually read about that in the developer blog. I'll link that in the description. But they're saying that we still have the reward from that, so if you guys want it, we can give you through you from the Nightmare Zone. So why not? I kind of want a cow mask. Hopefully you could put it in the POH though. Nightmare Zone, sell more Mire Fungus if you've completed Nature Spirit. Yeah, why not? I mean, the only people who really collect that are some people who are really desperate for money, or they they don't, or bots rather. I mean, there is some people who collect more Mire Fungus who just do it for money, but the thing about doing that is you don't get XP for it, so I never really saw that as worth it, so, why not? Unicorn Horn Dust? Sure. Desert Goat? Alright. Wine of Zamorak? I'm gonna vote no, because it's kind of funny when you see people try to take the Wine of Zamorak near Faldor, and then they get owned by the monks. Ah, shit, we got a lot of, okay, this is all Herbler supplies. So these almost might as well just be one question. The Nightmare Zone should sell Unicorn Horn Dust, Goat Horn Dust, and just yes or no. Other than, yeah, I did vote different for this one, but yeah, I guess why not? I'm not really putting much thought into that, but it already does sell a lot of Herbler supplies, and no one seems to mind, so why not? Vials of water, why not? I don't feel like fucking filling up a 1,000 vials of water. I'd rather just buy them. This is a big one, and I'm surprised that it is all the way down here. The 2006 Halloween event would be reopened. As a reward, it would give the black Halloween mask, which would be untradeable. Hell yes. I want to do that event again. That event was fun, and we should definitely do it. They said, well, people are saying, well, why don't you do the 2007 one? Apparently they don't have the coding for that, or at least it's not complete. And if you look at the update and also the developer blog, they show you some pictures of that. And the black Halloween mask, I'm surprised they put this in one question, but, why not? I mean, the black Halloween mask is not like a big deal. It's probably gonna look pretty cool, and that's about it. It's untradeable, by the way. So we voted. Now we can see the results. Alright, so I guess this is gonna pass after all. You know, oh well, I really don't care. Shit, it's gonna get the bonus, isn't it? 5,000 votes, that's actually quite a bit. That's pretty good for the first day I think this poll was released. Yeah, it is. That could change, but it usually doesn't. So, okay, it's not going to have the magic damage, so that's going to be a problem for stakers. I'm doing pretty bad so far on my votes. Alright, so it looks like these are going to be passing. You're going to get the Berserker Ring Eye, Warrior Ring Eye, Archer Ring Eye. Not a big deal, but it's kind of cool to have that extra little bonus and make those rings worth buying, and I guess it would make them more expensive. People don't seem to want this as much, the Onyx Ring Eye. Funny thing about the Onyx Ring Imbued is that it actually had a higher alch value than the Divine Spirit Shield. So there's horror stories of people going PKing like in high gear, and they keep an Onyx Ring Eye, which is like a couple, like maybe like 30 mil, and then they lose their Divine, which is like 1.3 bill, which is insane. But you know, these are definitely the cooler ones. This is like the Onyx Ring Eye is like the hardcore one. So if we could have one of those, I guess it's fine. So I guess people narrowly don't want super anti-fires, narrowly don't want super energies, the super prayers. So these are not looking good. People, you might think like, well, it's 72%. That's only 3 more percent. Well, keep in mind there's also going to be more votes voting no. It's really hard for any of these polls to change, and I highly doubt that any of these will actually change. They might change in percent, like this might go to 65%, 68%, but it's not going to go all the way to 75. So let's take a look. We got the super, okay, the Unids. All right, that's fine, I guess. You know, I don't really agree with that because I like doing Slayer, but I guess I'm in the minority. This I'm glad we got. This would be nice. You know, people say that those items, the Crystal Bone Shield, are crap. And they're not. It's just they're not as good as they could be because of the degrading. Like, imagine if, for people, if you've never done Raving Elves and you never got those, you probably know how Borrow's armor, it degrades, but it doesn't lose stats as it degrades until it gets to 0. You know, imagine if like you had Torags or Darox and the stats kept getting worse every time it degraded. It's just kind of annoying. So that actually would be pretty cool. Looks like the Questcape stuff isn't gonna pass. No. God damn it. I mean, that could happen, but like I said, it's probably not gonna happen. You know, at least, come on, at least vote for this one. You know, I could see if you don't want the Fire Cape stats, but make it decent. Nightmare Zone would sell. Okay, that's actually kind of close. This one could change, but I don't think it it's more than likely that it won't. But there is a good chance that that'll change. So it's not even a big deal to teleport stuff. You can just like, it's just an easier way to get to like Relica or some shit like that. So the Black Mass, yeah, looks like people want that kind of stuff. I'm not sure why this stuff is so on the fence. The Cow Mask, the Cow Mask looks cool. I don't know why people don't want it. I wish they would some of these questions would direct people to the developer blog, because a lot of people don't even know about that. Like, I'm sure some of the people voting don't even know what cosmetic means. Like, you know, some people might read this and think, oh, it's a new mask for magic. You know, I don't know. Some people are stupid and they're just not gonna know what they're voting for or voting against. But I hope that passes, and it should, based on the look at that. Let's see. So we got a lot of surprisingly close ones here. We got, like, all these are just narrowly no. And they could change, so maybe I'll take that back, what I said earlier. But, you know, even if it's at 74%, remember, there's still going to be more votes for no, and still going to be more votes for yes, and there's going to have to be a lot more votes for yes than there is for no in the future, so it's not going to happen, most likely. But it looks like all these resources questions, other than the herbs, are not going to make it through. You know, which I don't really care. Okay, vials of water, yeah. I mean, you could be level 3 and just bot out some vials of water, so that's good. And thank God people are voting for this. I don't know why you wouldn't want the Halloween event, other than maybe the new rare, but you know, it's an untradeable cosmetic item, and I'm sure that it's going to be available next Halloween too. So, you know, no one's going to miss out for that for more than 12 months. So, yeah, here's a little archive if you want to see it. So that was a big poll, Future Poll 10. Pretty cool poll. You know, I'm a little disappointed in some of the things people are disagreeing with me about, but that's all right. You know. Definitely make sure you vote no matter what your opinion is. Make sure you go and vote for this poll. I'll put it in the description, but you know, you probably shouldn't get in the habit of clicking links that say like services dot, you know, RuneScape or whatever, because half the time they're just phishing links. But you know, I'm not going to do that to you guys. But definitely check out the poll. A lot of cool things here. Hopefully, some of these look pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed about the quest cape not going through. The crystal stuff looks cool. This stuff looks, you know, perfectly alright. The mobilizing army stuff is pretty nice. You know, I wouldn't like this thing, but I guess it would make God Wars a little more exciting having that as a drop. So definitely check this poll out, guys. Also, be sure to join Andrew AJT62 friends chat. Follow me on Twitch down below, Andrew AJT62. Also follow me on Twitter at Andrew AJT62. And if you made it through this whole video, definitely like this video. I like seeing those. I like seeing likes, if that's the proper way to put it. And leave me your thoughts. If you guys disagree with any of my opinions, feel free to comment down below as stating why. You know, maybe I'll even change my mind. So see you guys later. Have a good one.